Welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, a platform where we have invited Spirit to share messages, healings, and transmissions with all of us. May this energetic experience help us to expand our awareness and to deepen the relationship we have with our higher self, our spiritual team, and with Source, however we define them. Thank you for being here and for taking part in this amazing journey. Hello and welcome back to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit Season 6. My name is Daniel Martinez Stahl. We are starting day 3. This is episode 7, and we are in conversation with Joanne Angel BarryColon. She is one of our veterans. She's been with us for a while, and so it's always a lot of fun to have her back. And so as always, Joanne, I would love to just ask you to introduce yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Definitely will. So you did say my name right, Rev Joanne Angel BarryColon. I'm your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and I created this amazing deck. I'll leave the name out for now. Created about 3 years ago, which has really opened up the gateway of a lot of what I do in regards to the work I do with my clients. And been doing what I'm doing as a personal trainer for 35 plus years. And the last, we're going to say 15 years, I've blended personal training with the healing modality, which is how Wholistic Fitness was born, because my former business name no longer resonated with me. And therefore, I was being guided to change the name because it didn't resonate anymore. So it's now called Wholistic Fitness. I now refer to myself as a holistic personal trainer, which really makes me stand out from the entire tribe of personal trainers out there, not just from the name though, but based on the work that I do with clients, helping them to transform. And as what we're here to do today is really dig into releasing weight, clearing contracts, and knowing that you can clear contracts relating and associated to your body weight. I don't know how much more you want me to go with this, Daniel. You want me just to keep flowing with this? Because I can.
Up to you, however you want to play it.
All right, awesome. So I will continue going until I feel guided not to. So as I was saying, based on blending the two industries together, because originally when I was introduced to the healing modality, and as a personal trainer, it was one of those things that I work with clients for personal training, clients for healing, and then I just kept hearing spirit, specifically my mom. She's my biggest team player that kept literally knocking me on the head, pulling my hair, and suggesting it was time to bring these two modalities together, which is what I've done, and helps me to stand out in the crowd to helping each and every one of you dig a little deeper into who you are, not just on a 3D level, but who you really are on a soul's level, because after all, that's what we're here to do. We are spiritual beings, and we're having, oh my God, multitudes of human experiences. And we're all starting to learn, at least I'm hoping we're learning, that we're in this new energy, this new earth energy, where we can literally start changing our belief system in regards to all the things that we believed over the last 50 to 100 years, depending on how long you've been on this earth in this lifetime. Because most of us have all been here multiple times before, and we're here doing this again in this lifetime with the possibilities of shifting beliefs. And one of those beliefs that I like to help each and every one of you with is shifting the belief based on your body weight, food, the connection with movement, the connection with healing, the connection with who you are on a soul level, and how all that interacts with one another. So you can really discover who you are on a soul's level, and more importantly, as you discover who you are on a soul's level, you allow yourself, you free yourself, you give yourself permission to step into your confidence, be your authentic self, because you're no longer worried or concerned about what other people think about you. And you step up to, and I'm hoping we can curse here, you step up and be the badass you're meant to be in this lifetime. And you become curious enough to want to know what your soul's calling is. And you find this all out by learning to clear the contract related to weight that you carry. The lighter you become, the more excited you become, and the more playful you are in this life. As humans, we take life way too seriously, and I definitely can raise my hand. I've been told by many people that I am so serious about what I do that I need to chill out a little bit. And I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to chill a little bit in reference to it doesn't have to be serious. I can be playful, I can have fun, and I can still get my message across by doing so. So that's a bit much about me and my spirit team. As I mentioned, my mom is a huge part of my spirit team. I have so many different guides that support me on this journey. I don't know if you could see from my, let's see, my left side of my shoulder, there's a little statue in the mirror behind. His name is Facetious. He's one of my mom's statues. I sort of adopted him once my mom crossed over. And he's one of my guides that brings the wisdom, helps me tap into my wisdom and bring that wisdom out to support each and every one of you on your journey, because we all have wisdom. We all have magic. We all have that ability to do the things we thought we never could do, because we sort of tiptoed around our life because we had this sort of expectation of what people thought we were supposed to do. And we're learning to peel that away. We're learning to be as authentic as we can be so we can do what we are here to actually do. So as I mentioned, today's topic is all about clearing contracts to help release weight. Now, before I dive into that any further, just want to find out from Daniel if he has any questions regarding that topic or what it is I've just said, or if anybody else does for that matter.
I don't have any questions, but as always, for anybody that's listening live, please feel free to raise your hand, put questions in the chat. More than happy to interact with you guys. Yes. I love the idea and the invitation, and I do want to share something that Shannon did put in the chat. But I love the idea and the invitation for us to integrate the different things that we're attracted to and interested in. And Shannon mentions, love the blending of modalities, been hearing from Spirit for many years, and for many clients to blend. And so this is one of the nice things about the conversation, you know, this idea that we can integrate and blend, utilize many different ideas and interests, and allow them to go beyond the barriers of limitation that we might perceive around one modality versus another modality. It's more about kind of, it's not one and another, it's more about what can I use from this to bring into this and kind of make it my own. So I love that idea. Exactly.
And that gives us the ability to allow ourselves to be authentic, you know, and taking all these different modalities and bringing them together and shining our light in that way. Now, I do want to apologize ahead of time. Throat chakra gets activated when I speak, which then causes me to cough a lot. So if that should take place, please accept my apologies in advance. I will mute myself when I know that it's going to get heavy. So putting that out there, because that just happens when channeling and connecting with energies as we do. Now, before I came on today, I connected with my team and I asked them, what is it I want to present? What is it they want me to present today? And it was interesting because it wasn't the usual, let me just chat about what it is I do. What it was about today is wanting to demo, wanting to give every one of you who are here today an opportunity to experience the work that I actually do by clearing energy that is associated to the weight that we hold on to, the emotional, the physical, the mental, the psychological, and the spiritual weight that we hold on to, and being able to do that. So I am being guided to pull a card to start off with, just to get into that energetic field of connecting with our chakras. And we'll start there, and then we'll continue through the healing demonstration. And then, of course, after the healing demonstration, should there be time, and I'm sure there will be some Q&A. So, of course, anything that shows up for you during that healing, you can share that and ask questions about it. This way here you have this opportunity to really get that feel and being guided. And you'll know that I close my eyes when I feel the guidance come in, being guided by my team in regards to what it is they want to say, because a lot of it will be coming from them as well. So they're tapping me on the shoulder and say, pick up them damn cards already. So
before you get started, Joanne,
definitely.
There's been a request in the chat for you to also talk about your knowledge of numerology and chakras. So if you can bring that into the conversation either before, during, or after, just wanted to let you know.
Perfect. And that was a perfect segue, because that's where the cards come in. So, and I thank that person that requested that. So in regards to the knowledge on chakras and numerology, for those of you who are not familiar with my deck, the deck is called Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck. Yes, I know it's a super long name. Was never expecting it to be the name of the deck, but that's the name of the deck. And each card, there's 45 cards in this deck, and each card is associated with 3 elements: a color, which is associated with your chakras, a word that is used as an affirmation, but also adds to your journey, the story that you are on right now. And then the number, which is very much associated with astrology based on your personal astrology chart, and also numerology based on your personal numerology year. Every one of us has a personal energy year number for this particular year, as every year. To calculate what that number is for you, you just take your month and day that you were born, date that you were born, add those numbers to the current year. So the current year, as we all know, is 2023. You take those numbers and add them together. If it shows up as a double digit, add those 2 numbers up to a single digit, unless you get an 11 or 22. Now, for the odd chance that you get 33, and I say odd chance because very few people get a 33 when they add up their birthday with the year. But those 3 numbers are known as master numbers. Master numbers carry a much higher frequency, but also has the same meaning of what the single digit number is. So if you want to calculate your number, just to get a general idea what your personal energy year number is, you could do that. And at some point, I may go through all the numbers to give you an idea what your personal energy number is for this year. So at least you'll walk away knowing that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shuffle the deck and just asking the deck to guide us in reference to what we're going to be working on for the clearing today, using that one chakra as the gateway to open us up. If you like, you're welcome to close your eyes. And let's see what card that is. This is a perfect card for today. It's forgiveness. 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 Now, if you know anything about healing, forgiveness is really the highest level of healing we can experience. When you can forgive yourself, and you can forgive other parties involved to whatever it is that's going on in your life that might have caused a strain in the relationship, or not even just a strain, but to the point where you just stop talking completely, and you can move into that forgiveness energy, you begin to heal. And that really is the magic behind when you release the weight and clear your energy, is through forgiveness. The chakra is the crown. Our crown chakra activates and helps us to connect with who we are from a higher level. It connects us to our spirit team. It connects us to loved ones and ancestors as well. To activate the crown, you can wear the color purple. Whether you want to wear a purple shirt, purple socks, purple underwear, whatever it is, you can activate it by wearing the color purple. And that will help to activate that energy. And I'm hearing Spirit say to me right now, if you want to really activate your crown, wear a purple hat, because it literally will connect you to your crown chakra. So activating that energy, the crown itself is very much aligned with the energy we are in right now, which is Leo's season. And it activates that energy of the lion. And every one of us has the lion within us, because we all have that powerful energy of the roar and the energy to be as strong and as powerful as a lion is. The number 99, and interesting enough, based on yesterday's conversation that Daniel shared with us, if you had a chance to be with us yesterday, 9 happens to be Daniel's favorite number. So it's so interesting that it pops up today. The number 9 is about transformation. The 9 is about letting things go. It's about endings and completion. Now, in theory, one would sit back and say, well, completion, ending, and transformation, aren't they all the same thing? Not at all. An ending means that you are actually ending something. You've done a project and you're ending it. Completion means it's done. You don't have to go back to it. It's completed. The transformation is who you become after you've done what you've done. So you transform. Every time you do any type of project, you transform. You are never the same person you were yesterday as you are today. And you'll not be the same person you are right now in a few hours from now, because that's a transformation that takes place. And a transformation occurs when you move into a space of forgiveness. Now, bringing the personal energy, your number, into this, if you happen to have a 9 personal energy, your number, this is your year for major transformation. This is your year to complete projects, to walk away from things. And you might have actually experienced people, places, and things fading away. Give forgiveness to it, bless it, be grateful for it, let it go, and see what happens. Because when we have an ending, a new beginning comes in. So it's so interesting that we do start off with the crown chakra, because it's a great gateway to bringing us into all of our other chakras. When we think about our chakra system is associated with our bodies. Every chakra is associated with a specific body part. And if we think about that energy from our crown, it's associated with our head. It's associated with thinking. It's associated with overthinking. It's associated with our spiritual wisdom. It's associated with our ego as well. And learning how to balance the two, because we do need our ego. We just don't need to work with our ego as much as most of us do. So when we take this energy and make that connection with your chakra system and become aware of if there is a chakra that might be a little sluggish for you, become aware and attuned to how to clear that energy so you can release the weight that holds that energy from flowing. Theoretically, our chakras are supposed to constantly flow. They're supposed to turn, theoretically. You might be asking yourself, well, how do I know if my chakras are flowing or not? Well, the answer to that question is, if you are experiencing challenges in your life and you're just not feeling like you're moving forward, there's a good probability there's a chakra or two that might be a little stagnant. If everything is flowing for you and magic is happening and you're feeling on top of the world, and there's many of you out there that are, then you know your chakras are flowing. But I'm going to let you in on a big secret. There's a good probability that there's going to always be that one chakra that's slightly a little sluggish, because that's just how life is. So whatever that one chakra is for you, just know that you have to work on that one chakra daily to keep that chakra in flow. So when we think about going back to the card, talking about that 9 again, related to astrology, it's the 9th house. 9th house, if you're familiar with astrology, is known as the Sagittarius energy. It's the higher wisdom, higher learning. It's traveling. And it's also traveling your day and nighttime dreams, which are extremely important for every one of us. Because at night, if you're not aware of this, every one of us during our nighttime cross over. And we have an opportunity to connect with spirit and ask spirit and loved ones and ancestors to help us really work on clearing the contracts that we have with the things that no longer serve us, specifically relating to body weight. Now, you to ask yourself a question. And that question is, how old were you when you were aware that you were putting on weight? Now, most people are going to sit back and say, well, childhood, puberty, etc. And if that is your answer, that's fine. But we're going to dig a little deeper. So if you have a number and you know the age, just put it in the comments, because I'm kind of curious to see if the ages, what ages the ages hit, because that's associated with specific chakras. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds just to jot that in the comments, and I'll take a peek to see. Okay. Oh, 35. Okay, they're coming in really quick. Okay. All right. Since they came in really, really, really quick, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you the breakdown. When we think about the root chakra, it's 0 to 7 years old. Root chakra is located right at your tailbone, and it's about survival. It's about our fears, about support, protection, being provided for. And that's 0 to 7 years old. So if there was anything going on during the time of being in your mother's womb, prior to conception, during conception, during pregnancy, and of course after birth, you might have taken on some emotional weight from your mama. So you can go ahead and thank mom for that. And anything that took place from the ages of 0 to 7 could very well contribute to the emotional energies that your body carried where the weight came in. Moving up into the sacral energy, which is from the ages of about 7 to 14. 7 to 14. So if you've noticed that your weight started coming on between that age, which is puberty when you really think about it, but it's not always necessarily about the puberty. There might have been something going on that was a little deeper, and you may not get that right now because it might be something that sits so deep rooted within your soul that you're not able to unravel that just yet. But don't worry, you will get to that. If not by the time this session ends, you will definitely get to this at some point over the next couple of days. So we think that sacral energy, again, that's about the judgment, the shame, the guilt, the blame. If you are in a large family, there's a possibility that you were constantly being judged. You were constantly being compared to. I come from a family of two sisters. So there was always constant, well, she's better at this than you are. You're good at this. Like, for example, for me, I was really fast. So my dad always asked me to run down the block to get milk, 3 blocks down. Always in my mind, I said, well, can't one of my sisters go? Well, you can go because we're going to get the milk here a lot faster than if they went, because I was known to be fast. So of course I had to go. So that's that sacral energy. That's 7 to 14. We move up to the solar plex energy, which is the belly, and that's between the ages of 14 to about 21, 22. 14 to about 21, 22. And when we think solar plex is about feeling secure, feeling safe, feeling worthy. And I'm going to say that one again, feeling worthy, feeling valued, being seen, being heard, being desired, being wanted. Now, again, if you come from a big family, this could be an energy where you just felt like you didn't get enough attention because there was so many family members, brothers and sisters, that you just didn't feel like you got enough attention. So there may be a little energy sitting there from not feeling loved, not feeling wanted, not feeling accepted, not feeling heard. So that all sits in the solar plex energy. That's the belly. Then we move up into the heart energy, which goes from, let's say, 23 to about 30. 23 to 30. That's the energy we hold on to in reference to grief, sadness, anxiety, abandonment, loss. That's the heaviness that sits there. So again, 23 to about 30. So again, that weight that you might be holding on to might be related to something that was related to an experience that you endured at that time. Then we move up to the throat chakra. That's from 31 to about 38. 31 to 38. Maybe at that point in time, you still weren't able to express yourself. You weren't able to quite get the words out. Maybe you were one of those children out there. I know I was. Children should be seen but not heard. So as an adult, you still carry that energy. So your throat chakra doesn't really flow so well because you're afraid to speak up, because you're afraid someone doesn't want to hear you, or you feel as though you don't have something good, something worthwhile to say for people to want to hear you. So that's that energy right there. And then we move up into the third eye, and that goes more into the age of 35 to about, give and take, your early 50s. Our illusions. We lack in our imaginations because we don't think we have the right to create. We don't think we have the right to be authentic. So we lack in it. We just do the thing we're expected to do, the 9-to-5 job because your mama wanted you to be a lawyer, or your father wanted you to be a teacher, but you're not literally in your soul's purpose because you're living out someone else's dream. Third eye energy. How many of you can relate to that? Living out someone else's desire. Then we have the crown. That's anything above the age of 50, which is where we pretty much all are right now. Coming into ourselves. Every one of us are in this self-discovery. Who are we? Why are we here? And what are we meant to be doing? As we peel away all the different things that we have held on to from the age of 0 to 7, all the way up to now, we peel those layers away, digging deep into, this doesn't serve me anymore. This doesn't serve me anymore. One of my favorite expressions that I use all the time for myself and also clients when consulting with them is whatever it is that you were told based on your belief system. Is that belief yours? Do you believe that still? We are in an energy right now, right here, that we can shift our belief system. So anything that you have believed up until now that you want to reevaluate and ask yourself, do I still believe that? And if your answer is no, you can go ahead and clear that energy. So what I like for you all to do now that you have a general idea of when your weight started coming on, whatever that age was for you, you should take a moment. I want you to bring your hands into prayer position right in front of your heart chakra. Close your eyes. And I want you to begin to activate your own energy by rubbing your hands up and down. Then you're going to separate your hands and either imagine or feel, sense, or touch the energy flowing from one hand to the other, whatever that energy feels like for you. Once you can feel, sense, and touch that or imagine it, place your left hand right on your heart center. Place your right hand on your solar plexus. As you sit there in this energy, I want you to imagine that version of yourself of the age you were when you first started noticing weight come on. I'd like you to invite that age in and imagine that age, that version of you sitting right in front of you. And once you can imagine or even feel, sense, or touch, or even hear or see your version of yourself at that age in front of you, this is where you get to have a conversation with that version of you. We want to get to the why. We want to get to the why we needed this weight. Now, you may not be able to discover this right now. You may need to come back later to do a little more digging. But you want to know why. Because that is the big reason. That is the big way to clear out this energy, to knowing the why. What was this weight attached to? What was your lesson? Why this weight? When we think about body weight in itself metaphysically, it is a psychological wall we build physically around us to protect us from something or someone. So just take a moment and ask that younger version of you, or the version of you that sits in front of you, and have a conversation. There's going to be about 2 minutes of quiet so you can do this. And just allow yourself to receive whatever shows up. And just be open to the fact that if nothing shows up, that's okay. And here's where the quiet begins. Now, at this time, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to ask that younger version of yourself, what does he or she need from you right now? What does he or she need from you right now? And just be open to whatever he or she needs. And if you can give he or she what it needs, please do so. Whether it's a hug, maybe it's a kind word, whatever it is. And now at this point in time, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to imagine a color, whatever color you wish to imagine. Imagine that color from your heart to that younger version of yourself's heart. Everything that you received in regards to the why you carry this weight, the why you called in this weight to protect you from whatever it is you needed protection from. I want you to imagine something that you're going to cut this cord with, whatever that is, whether it's a scissor, a knife, your teeth, a chisel, whatever it is. And wherever at the point of whether it's close to you, the middle, or closer to your younger version of yourself, I'd like you to say to yourself or out loud, I am releasing the energy of my weight relating to this situation. And see yourself cut that cord. And as you see yourself cut that cord, I'd like you to now begin to imagine yourself at what's called your healthiest weight for you. See yourself, imagine what it is to be the healthiest weight for you, whatever that looks like. Once you have that vision, I'd like you to place both hands down into your lap with your palms faced up. As you do that, I'd like you to thank your younger version of yourself for showing up and sharing the guidance he or she shared. And then in this very moment, I'd like you to think about 3 small action steps you can take to begin to match the energy of this new, healthier version of you that you could take over the next few days to bring that version of you into your physical reality. Remember to write it down. This way here, you're aware of it. And once you've written it down, remember that vision of yourself as this new version of, new healthy version of you. Just take a breath. Visualize all 7 chakras. If you're into colors, you can visualize the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the turquoise, the indigo, and purple. You can even sense, touch, and feel this energy activating through all your chakra system. Just gently begin to open your eyes. Please grab a little bit of water because you did do a clearing. And what I would like, if possible, someone in the audience to give me one number for 1 to 99. All right, so, all right, I'm getting a few numbers. I'm going to take that 72. Love that 72 in honor of Daniel's number 9. Why I asked for that number 9, that number in general, is when we think about energy clearing and we think about this new version of who we are, because we're humans, we always have a timeline. So obviously we're going to take that 72 because in numerology, everything gets taken down to a single digit. But I want to break down that 72 before I do that. That 7 is about the contract you now have, your new contract that you now have with your body. Based on the conversation you just recently had with the younger version of yourself and getting a better understanding to why you called in this weight, what that weight was there to help you with, you now have a new contract where you can go ahead and set up new beliefs regarding food, regarding movement, regarding water, regarding meditation, regarding healing. You get to set that up. No one's going to do it for you. This is your job because it's your new belief system. That 2 energy, again, right into our partnership that you have, the partnership you have with yourself as you've cleared this new energy. Over the next 9 days, starting today, over the next 9 days, you're going to begin to see, feel, touch, and hear different things that show up for you regarding this new version of who you are, with this new weight, this new body that you are stepping into, you are embodying. And as you step into this new body and embody this new way of being who you are, over the next 9 days, you're going to start to see, feel, and touch new ways of doing things. As with anything else, if you had a new job, you would do that job differently than you did the previous one. The same thing goes with this new energy that you have with your weight, this new energy you have with your body, this new way of how you work with your own body and how you embody the unconditional love with your body. Knowing that there's no conditions, you love yourself just as you are now, as you're creating, because now you have a better understanding to the weight that you carried. So over the next 9 days, you're going to see this transition happening for you over the next 9 days. Now, because I've said that, you believe that over the next 9 days, you're going to see this transition. My question to you is, what do you believe? Do you think it could be sooner? Or do you think it's going to be later? It's your belief system. I am here as a conduit to share insight with you. I am not here to say to you that's going to take you 9 days to get there. It's your belief system. Some of you can have a very strong belief and power and know that by tomorrow, you're going to step into this new belief system. Some of you might have a little, not trusting the process so much, and might be sitting back saying, this is going to take me a little longer than 9 days. So it's your belief system. It's what you believe, and that belief is going to peel into the actions you take so you can step into this new version of you. So when we think about clearing our contracts to help us release the weight, the physical weight that we hold on to, the emotional weight we hold on to, the mental, the stories we tell ourselves, it's based on our belief system. So if you believe something can happen like this, it's going to. If you believe something's going to take a little time, it's going to. None of you are wrong, because it's what you believe in. And that's the power of this energy that we have right now. I'm here showing you a beautiful technique that you can use with everything, not just your body weight. You have this, it's on recording, you can go back and re-listen and work on all the different things you got going on in your life. It's your belief system that's going to create into your reality sooner or later. And that's the beauty of this. You're in control, you're in charge. All I did was give you tools to utilize so you could become the best version of yourself, and you can truly fall in love with you with no conditions at all, and clear the contracts and become this light version of who you are, or what I like to call the light worker that you are here to be. Every one of us are light workers. Every one of us hold light. When we think about the light worker, it's the light we hold on to for each of us, because every one of us will experience different challenges. Now, I had said earlier that I would go through the definitions of the personal energy years. Well, here's where that's coming. When we talk about the one personal energy year, those in a one, that's about new beginnings. This is your way of doing things different. 2, it's about your contracts, your partnerships, your relationships. 3, about communication, collaborating and creating. What do you want to create? What do you believe you can create? 4, it's your foundation. When we speak of foundation, we speak of your home, your body. Your body is a big aspect here, your foundation. Your foundation. How do you want to bring more stabilization into your foundation? How do you want to restructure your structure of your body? And you can. 5, and before I dive into this definition, I'm just going to let you know that I myself am in a 5 energy year. And if you've been following my journey, you know it's a powerful one, because 5 is about change. 5 is about change and being courageous enough to take the steps so you can change, so you can have the freedom that you are so desiring to have, and believing that you can make that change and take those small little action steps, or for that matter, such as what I've done in the last 11 months, take some gigantic leaps of faith, trusting the universe has your back, and being courageous enough so you can have the freedom to do the things you came here to do. That's that 5 energy, the very powerful time. 6 is about healing, nurturing, taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself, putting yourself on the top of your priority list before you take care of somebody else. That's the healer. It's about your body system. So when that 6 energy shows up in your personal energy year, it is about your body system, and your body is going to speak to you to let you know when there's an imbalance going on. So please pay attention to what your body is saying to you. 7, those of you who are in a 7 energy year, well, welcome to the universal energy, because that's that 2023 energy, which is about your spiritual awakening, your spiritual journey, taking time to quiet down, to go within and reflect and review and discover who you really are. Because who you were, who you thought you were based on all the other people's expectations expectations of who you are isn't really who you are once you discover and let it all go. That's that 7. 8. 8 is abundance. 8 is harmony. 8 is harmony. 8 is balance. 8 is working hard to get what you want, success, fame, power. When I use the word power, I don't mean political power. I mean the power within you so you can release what you need to release. 8 is bringing everything into balance. If you actually look at that number 8, it's both circles are even. It's balanced. Where in your life do you want more balance? That's that 8 energy. And let's not forget number 9. 9 is transformation. 9 is all about the endings, the completions, the letting things go, the major decluttering. You don't just declutter your closets. You declutter friends. You declutter places. You declutter things. 9 is a massive year. 9 carries the vibration of the last 9 years of your life. So you're definitely reviewing, reflecting, and releasing. So you can reboot and recharge. Let's talk a little bit about the 11. 11 is that master number of the master healer. The 11 carries the same meaning of the 2, which is about your partnerships. But if you carry an 11 vibration energy year, this is your year to be the master healer, which means, and don't get too excited just yet, it means you're going to go through experiences that's going to be related to healing. Things are going to show up. Illness, disease, or even physical pain is going to show up. Conflicts are going to show up as the master healer because that's what you're here to do. You are here to heal, to be the healer. And then open up your hands to help others. 22, for those of you who have a 22 personal energy year, that's the master builder. You are building something this year. Massively. You are massively building something. And that massive builder, you're building yourself. You are building yourself up. You are building yourself up. You are literally taking all of the beliefs of what everyone has told you about you, and you are creating this new version of who you are. You are the master healer. You are here to be the master builder. Build your mind, body, and spirit. Build your authentic self. Build your soul's purpose, because that's what you're here to do. That is the master builder. Now, in all my years of studying numerology, I've never come across someone who carries a personal energy year of 33. I have come across those who carry a life path number of 33. What is the difference between the two? Very quickly, life path number is your soul's purpose energy. Life energy, your personal energy year changes every year. Your life path number doesn't change. So because no one carries a personal energy year number of 33, let me give you the definition of what it means as a life path number. And that is the master sacrificer. Someone that sacrifices their energy to help others. It carries the vibration and frequency of God, Buddha, the high priestess. That is that person. Someone that sacrifices their energy. So now that you know your numerology energy for this year, this is where you get to be the badass. This is where you get to step into your confidence. This is where you get to really discover your soul's purpose, because we all have one. We all have our soul's purpose. Now, I'm going to sort of give a brag here to one of my words I'm hearing is amazing mentor she is, who spoke yesterday, Kitty Foss. I know she just popped in. She gave an amazing insight regarding astrology yesterday and all that there is. It is so important to understand your astrology chart, because along with your numerology and along with releasing your contracts and releasing the weights associated with who you are, it's so important to know what's going on in your natal chart. Everything is interconnected. And when you can understand that everything's interconnected and you can learn to work with all of our planets, and we have, I think, 5 planets at this moment in retrograde that are helping us to really come into our soul's calling, into our soul's purpose. Every one of us are on a journey this year. Remember, the 2023 energy is at 7. This is our year for our spiritual awakening, our spiritual evolution, our spiritual transformation. Every one of us are transforming into a different version of ourselves as we peel away weight. And we create new ways and new beliefs when it comes to our bodies, when it comes to the relationship with food, when it comes to the relationship with how we move our body. Those of you who follow me on a regular basis, you know that strength training is a big part of my life. Strength training is not about the vanity. Strength training is about giving you the strength, the physical strength. Most of you in here, I'm assuming, are over the age of 30, may have children, may have grandchildren, may have fur babies. And you want to have the strength to be able to play with them. You want to have the strength to get down to the floor, get back up. You want to be able to carry your laundry bag down the stairs and then up the stairs. You want to be able to go to the grocery store and carry your groceries from the store to your car or even walk them home. That is what strength training is about. That's what's going to help you have the strength to transform. And that embodying your mind, body, and spirit. When you strength train, you literally are connecting with your body. There's no one else there but you and the weights. And you're connecting with your body in that process. So for you ladies over 40, if you are not strength training yet, this is your time to do so. Because it's not about the vanity. That's a bonus. It's a bonus that you might look sexy naked. That's a bonus. But it really is about posture, health, strength, and more importantly, confidence, because I'm sure every one of us wants confidence. Every one of us wants to have the confidence so we can step in to be our authentic self. So as my spirit guides and team sit here with me right now, the message that they are bringing to the table at this very moment is, you got this. You got this. You got this. No matter what size, shape, or form you are in right now, know that whatever your belief system was, you have the ability to shift it, change it, and make it something different. By releasing the weight that you carry, the emotional weight, because everything's emotionally related. By releasing the emotional weight, you start to peel away what no longer serves you and become light enough to be the soul person you're meant to be. So at this point in time, I'm open to Q&A for those who have questions, because I'm sure there's questions that people are popping into their head. Daniel, how are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. There's a couple comments in the chat. So thank you guys for sharing your experiences in the chat. I'm not going to read all of them out, but I just wanted to acknowledge that they are there, and thank you guys for sharing. There is a question from Shannon that says, this makes a lot of sense and very interesting. I'm very curious what you have about the menopause weight gain and just that is so stubborn during the withdrawal and reduction of particular hormones.
Okay, I love that question. I'm glad it came up. My belief system when it comes to menopause is, again, everything's about belief. We've been programmed to believe that once we hit a certain age, we go through menopause. So as long as you believe that that's what it is and that's what you will experience, it's up to you to decide if you want to continue holding on to that belief. The minute you make the decision that you no longer believe whatever it is you were believing, and you shift your belief to something different, you will begin to notice in your body things shifting, and that you will no longer have the symptoms that is related to menopause. Does that answer your question, Shannon?
So as always, if there's any other questions, please feel free to raise your hand or put them in the chat. I want to share what came to me about my own body weight.
Kitty has a question.
Yeah, I noticed
her hand
that.
just went up. Yes.
Yeah. I'm still going to play with this some more. I'm curious about where it's going, but I want to bring this up as an example of there's no right or wrong to any of this.
Of course.
I started to gain weight when I was in the middle of a relationship with someone that was slowly beginning to treat me with disrespect. And I'll just put it that way. I lost the weight when I came into the States and started, a new life. And in the last, gosh, I want to say probably since COVID, I've started to gain weight, and I'm the heaviest I've ever been before. I have a fairly good relationship with my body, and I feel that my body is telling me that we're perfectly fine exactly as we are. I'm also told that I'm going to hold on to my weight because my weight is helping me with my current situation right now with my mother and a lot of the energies that I'm playing with and dealing with.
Okay. Are you open for some suggestions?
Absolutely. But let me finish my thought.
Sure.
I was also told that after my mom transitions, part of me stepping into my life is going to be stepping into a different body. And the metaphor of the weight loss will be supporting that idea. Now, the reason that I'm sharing this is because I then started asking myself, can all of this still be true without having to hold the weight now? And so this is what I mean by I'm still going to play with this and kind of sit with it and explore it. It didn't feel right for me to sever the cord at the time, but then it brought up a question in my mind. Why doesn't it feel right to sever the cord? What am I holding on to? What am I afraid of? What's holding me back? And so there's a lot of introspection and reflection that I'm going to do around this, which is really exciting and interesting and fun to kind of play with.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of share that with
Yes.
everybody.
And I just want to share a little insight on what you just shared with us, starting with the relationship you had, and you started putting on weight from that relationship, and then you lost it, and then it showed up again. This is a perfect example to one of the reasons why I refer to release weight versus lose weight. And also when we talk about forgiveness, when you are ready, Daniel, to work on, and I don't know if you've done this yet, to work on whatever this relationship was and getting into that place where you heal and can forgive that situation with the person, that is when you'll start to notice you start releasing the weight because you go through the healing process of forgiving or whatever the situation was. Secondly, the belief, and I use that word, that's the word I hear, the belief that you have that you're holding on to this weight because of the situation that you have with your mother, and you need it for that reason. Sit with the idea of that and ask yourself, is that really what you believe? And if so, why? So you can discover that, because you might come up with a different belief and you may be able to release that one, which then in return will help you to release the weight that you're holding on to. Because again, as we've already discovered, everything that we're experiencing is based on our belief system. So we believe something to be true, then we hold on to the energy of that belief. The minute we shift into a different belief, we release that belief. Other thing that's coming up that I'm hearing is there may be what's called a payoff, meaning there might be a benefit to you holding on to the weight in reference to why you didn't want to cut the cord during that healing session. There might be something that you gain or that's allowing you to do or not do something by having the weight. So something you might want to just sit and do a little self-discovery to resolve whatever that might be. From my experience, that usually happens for most people is when they're not willing to let something go, there's a payoff. It's either because that particular situation allows them to either receive support from somebody else, so they don't want to let go of the support because they're afraid to ask for it, so they get it in another way. So there's multiple reasons for why we choose not to let something go, because there's a benefit behind holding on to it. So just some things to do some self-discovery. I do believe that you can release the weight way before your mother crosses over. I don't think you need the weight to hold on to based on the situation. And I do believe that should you decide to make that decision to let the weight go, you're actually going to feel lighter, and it will make it easier for you to go through whatever it is you're experiencing with your mother. And it will make things flow easily, is what I just heard.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
Kitty.
you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I've pulled over so I can listen. It was hard for some reason, whatever signal I was, to get in. My question is for you, Joanne, is I've had a lifelong discussion with weight. I'm going to call it that, not battle, discussion with it. And it was a couple years ago that I just decided I am what I am, and that's enough. And my own weight has reset every year. It's very natural. I don't really think about it. And what would you recommend because those of us that are on here, as maybe a way to start a spiritual practice that connects into that kind of vibe that allows us to let those beliefs go around, because that's literally what happened. Is one day I said, you know what, I don't care anymore. And I didn't. It just shifted. It was around the death of my mother, who was beautiful at every size, and yet she spent so much energy in her life. And I thought, thank you, Mom, I don't want that path. So what kind of like daily practice or something that would you recommend to maybe start to kind of approach a spiritual resetting with the body?
I love the question. Before I answer the question, I do want to note, because Kitty and I chat a lot off screen, and she had shared with me that she has a lot of experiences in regards to her family and just the whole family dynamic of not having a lot of food. And because of that, in her lifetime, food is a big thing, the restriction. And again, we have to remember that we carry the energy in our DNA of our parents, their lack, not having enough. So if we don't think we have enough, we're going to eat when we're going to eat, because we don't think we're going to eat again. So based on Kitty's question, what is the practice? What practice can you have daily? First practice is the unconditional love to the body you have, loving every part of you. Second practice is the spiritual practice is becoming aware of fuel and feed. Fuel means you want to fuel your body for energy for whatever it is you need to do in your day. Feed is feeding your inner child when he or she has cravings. Remember, we want to make sure our inner child is being seen, heard, and loved. And many of us as children did not really get that. So our job now as adults to our inner child is to make sure they receive what it is they couldn't get when they were younger. So it's very important to create that practice to feed and fuel. When I work with clients, I give them a 70-30. 70% of your time you are going to fuel your body. 30% of the time you're going to feed your body. Now, whatever that looks like, if you want to limit yourself and say, well, once a week, I'm going to have something sweet or salty, or you want to allow yourself the unlimited opportunity and say, you know what, every single day, I'm going to indulge when I have the desire to. So you eliminate your restrictions. A big part of this is letting go of your restrictions, your limitations, and telling yourself you can have something. Again, it's your belief system. You can have whatever you want to have. Love your body like you want someone to love you. Because when you can love your body the way you want someone to love you, everything starts to fall away. You literally begin to release all the emotional dysfunction that goes on in our mind that creates the weight that we hold on to, the resistance. So just a daily practice of just unconditional love and that fuel and feed practice is what I would recommend. It's an easy way of going about it. Literally stand in front of the mirror, completely naked, and love on yourself. And I know that may be a little extreme, but I think it's extremely important because you truly need to love yourself just as you are. And the more you can, spiritually speaking, you will start to notice without fail, like Kitty mentioned, your body weight will start to reset. One of the biggest reasons why we hold on to weight is we are resisting. We are constantly resistant. We are constantly told we can't have something. When we are told we can't have it, we want it more. So do not restrict yourself. If you want it, have it. Unlimited process is your practice. Kitty, does that help you?
Yes, because I think that is really important about the words you say to yourself. We've been talking about that for 2 days, actually. The words you say to yourself, where do you limit? And obsessive thinking about weight, I know doesn't help. So yeah, I like that exercise in front of the mirror, just loving on yourself.
Yes.
So thank you. That's a good place to start, especially there are times when I start to fall into, oh, maybe I should go on a diet. I'm like, no, I'm not going on any diets. So
yeah, when we think about the word diet, the first 3 letters in diet is die. And that's what you do to yourself. You die within your own soul because you lose who you are authentically when you restrict yourself from having the things you're desiring. And always come back to that place to ask, what is going on in my life right now that might be causing me to want whatever it is I want? How can I love myself today so I can fully engage in the body that I am in, no matter what size it is? And keep in mind when we talk about our contracts, there are people in our lifetime right now that have a contract with their body weight. And that's just what it is. So love yourself as it is, unconditionally. Love yourself as it is. As time goes and you go through your transformations and you're ready to cross over, you're going to be as light as a feather anyway. Think about it. The average person that crosses over, how many of them die? And I don't mean to say it like this, but it's what sometimes my guys can be really funny. How many people die being fat? When you really think about it, most people lose all their weight by the time they cross over. They become extremely light. So really think about it. You're here to live, and you're here to live fully. So embrace it.
That was so apparent when we did at my mother's celebration of life, and all of those pictures. I kept thinking, Mom, you were beautiful at every stage, and you were always worried about how big you were. So yeah, thank you, Joanne. That I love that exercise. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good question, Kitty. Camille.
Go ahead, Camille.
I don't know if this will help everyone or anyone beside myself, but what if you can't work with weights at this point in your life? I have a lot of nerve issues, and when I lift weights, my whole inner self like trembles from my nerves being so weak. So what in contrast can I do, especially with having had several surgeries that hinder and allow me to have a limitation?
Good question. First question there's two questions I'm gonna ask. First
Okay.
question is, are you working with a trainer when you are working out?
Well, I'm starting physical therapy only for 6 sessions. That's all I'm entitled to, and it's too costly. But that's just to like help, muscles to begin and resume. And the other thing is what's your second question?
Well, before we go on to the second question,
sure.
in regards to your statement, what you definitely want to do is once you've completed your 6 sessions of physical therapy, in the process, you do definitely want to consider hiring a trainer to support you on your journey. Second thing I was going to say is your belief system around your condition. So as long as you believe, and I'm not saying that you don't have, I'm just saying that maybe it's time to work on a different belief system that you can actually work with weights. And again, supervision is extremely important because you do have some restrictions. So working with a trainer that can make sure you are doing what you're doing safely without causing injury. Yeah.
Well, I'll just try to quickly tell you that when I was working with weights with a trainer, not a trainer, a physical therapist, I should say, and I was lifting weights with her, it turned out, and I really have come to believe that this was the crux of my spinal cord swelling like the size of an orange, because the weights were too heavy for me, and I told her that, and she said, no, you're doing great, keep going. And I kept lifting like 30 pounds on that. And then the next thing that happened was, I couldn't navigate. I couldn't even walk. I had to hold walls, and I needed surgery in my neck. So I do have, my belief around it is that I can do anything, and I'm healing pretty well, but, I do feel a sense of limitation around when I work with a weight, even a 3 and 5 pound weight for my arms and stuff, because my neck is so bad, and my lower back has been chronic.
Yeah. So here's my suggestion, so we don't take up too much time.
Yeah,
I definitely suggest you reach out to me. We can have a conversation, and we can see where's the best place to start for what you are doing to help you get to that place where you want to get to, so you can release the restrictions and start to feel stronger and healthier.
Thank you. Oh, and I don't know if this will help anybody, but when we were doing the letting go with the age range, I know my weight came on. I never really had a weight problem. It was a little chunky around my belly always, but the weight problem came on late because it was a self-loathing. It was a punishment of myself to myself. And, it was hard like Daniel said, it was hard to let go of that contract. I still need healing there, and forgiveness was the perfect number to come up. So I'm grateful for that, very much so.
And the more you work on that self-loading and get to that place where you forgive yourself, you will eventually see that weight starts to come off. It's a belief system as well. Everything's a belief system. It's what we tell ourselves and then what we're willing to change.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I add something to this, Joanne?
Sure.
So I am learning this myself. I like being very transparent with my own journey. I am learning this myself, so I am not necessarily speaking from a place of knowing. I'm speaking from a place of pointing myself in this direction. As we are going into a new energy on Earth, we are able to tap into a different experience of life, of what it means to be human, of what it means to have an experience of life with no limitations.
Yes.
The other day, I again talk about Sarah Landon a lot, and the council, and the other day, the council was answering a question around pain that somebody had brought up, and they said pain is not necessarily the word that we would use, because again, there's an association, and Kitty, in the conversation we were having yesterday, we were talking about the association that we have with words. So the council invited us to look at the challenges that our life is, that our body is showing us as a purging or as a transition or as an upgrade. And that pain as such is nothing more than a focus mechanism that directs us to pay attention to the power that we are, the truth of who we are, which is we're divine source energy.
Yes, yes. And that comes back again. Go ahead. Do you have more to add to that?
I do, yeah. And
yeah.
The other thing that might be helpful is, again, I'm going to, steal from my mom's experience. My mother had a session with someone who was connecting with their spirit team, and the information she got about her pain, because she suffers from neuropathy and osteoarthritis, and she can't do a lot of physical activity without her neuropathy flaring up and making it very difficult to even stand and walk. But what she was told was that she is holding on to a lot of agreements around her discomfort as it relates to her own view of herself, because she's very self-critical and has a lot of self-judgment and still lives in a lot of that guilt of what she's done, what she hasn't done, what she should have done differently. And the invitation was that as she allows herself to love herself and to be accepting of herself, that a lot of her discomfort is going to diminish.
Yes.
She's going to have a different relationship to it. They didn't say it was going to go away entirely. Now, it can. And so the opportunity and the possibility is for it to go fully away, because, Spirit tells us time and time again, we have the capacity to heal instantly. And Abraham Hicks, I always use as an example, Abraham Hicks at one point was asked, so if what you're saying is true, I could regrow a limb if I lost a limb. And they said, absolutely. The only reason you can't is because you believe you can. Now, again, I say, I'm not there yet. However, I am pointing myself in that direction. And as I allow myself to expand even more into the truth of who I am, I'm beginning to feel the truth of, if I am the energy of all that is, what can't I do? And so I just wanted to kind of share that as a direction that might be helpful to kind of point yourself in. It seems like we lost Joanne. So hopefully she will come back in. So thank you guys for all the comments that you guys have put in into the chat. And there is a question, where is it? There we go. Javona was asking about what her favorite exercise is, and I will bring that up when Joanne joins us again. Yeah, thank you, Camille. Yeah, it's really interesting space that we're playing in. Looking for Joanne so I can spotlight her again when she comes back. It's a really interesting.
I just popped back in.
Oh, there you are. Perfect.
Yes, my internet just dropped, so give me a second just to sort of reorganize myself.
Perfect. Take your time. Take your time.
I'm like, hey, what happened? I just got to get a box a second. I'm like, wait.
So last season, and the recordings for last season are always available to anybody. If they want to contribute, just reach out to me and I can give you access to last season's recordings. Eventually I'll put them up on YouTube and the podcast, but it'll take me a while to get to that. But last season that Joanne and I had a conversation, we spoke a lot about releasing weight. And a lot of the things that we talked about was this idea of the beliefs that we are holding on to are creating the experience that we have. And, you know, Spirit time and time again talks to us about how the things that we focus on and the things that we give meaning to is what literally forms our experience of life. So our life is reflecting what we are believing in and what we are giving meaning to. And so a lot of the conversation that Joanne and I had last time that she joined me for CSVS was around those types of things. Joanne, are you back?
Yes, I am. Can you see me?
I can. So
Excellent.
there was a question earlier on that I just want to bring up, which is, what is your favorite form of exercise?
Strength training. Strength training, yes. And there was a comment made prior to when we were in the conversation. I think Shannon had mentioned something about what about yoga? And yoga is a great supplementation. However, for women over 40 and men too, but specifically because I work with women over 40, strength training is extremely important for so many reasons, more specifically for bone health and to help us maintain the strength that we need in order to do our daily activities. Now, earlier, Daniel had mentioned the word pain. Now, again, it comes back to our belief system. We have been programmed by the medical industry about pain, about illness, about disease. So many of us hold on to pain when something shows up in our body. And Daniel addressed this a few minutes ago. When something shows up in our body, it's really our body's way of letting us know there's something that needs our attention and that there's an imbalance perhaps, or as I like to refer to as an activation that takes place. And we refer to as pain because that's how we know it, because we've been programmed to believe it's pain. But it shows up as pain to get our attention. So if you can create a different word rather than using the word pain for when your body speaks to you, you will be able to come up with a different belief system around whatever that might be for you. Because again, it really comes back to our belief system. Are we experiencing pain? What is it trying to tell us? Perfect example for myself, hands-on experience, right as we speak, I am experiencing a flare-up in my shoulder. Now, yes, I can call it pain because it hurts. It hurts. It's stopping me from doing what I like to do. It's not physically stopping me because I'm still doing my strength training, but it's causing me to do my strength training slightly different, possibly a little lighter, possibly a little slower. But the most important part of it is that I'm connecting with my shoulder and realizing the anterior part of my shoulder, which is the front part of my shoulder, is telling me a story. When we think about our shoulders metaphysically, that story is, what is it that I think somebody should be doing or I should be doing? We do a lot of shoulding, and that shoulding shows up in our shoulders and our neck. So if you are experiencing shoulder or neck discomfort, you might want to ask yourself, where is it I'm doing a lot of shoulding? Where am I not in agreement with someone else's point of view of what they're doing and think they should be doing it differently? Right side of the body is associated with taking action. It's associated with masculine energy. Left side of the body is receiving. It's associated with feminine energy. When you become aware of what your body actually is trying to tell you based on the metaphysical meanings, and you can find out metaphysical meanings for everything about your body through Google. I write a lot of articles relating to the metaphysics regarding what your body's trying to tell you. And when you can relate it to that and come away from the word pain and just delete the word pain out of your whole process, you start to retrain your body in a different way and realize that your body is going to speak to you. As Kitty pointed out earlier, we have almost 7 planets in retrograde. That's a lot of activation going on in our body system. Our body, as I said earlier, is associated with our chakra system. And our chakras are being constantly realigned and rebooted. We are becoming different versions of ourselves. The old ways of how we thought before is not how we're going to be thinking going forward. This new age comes along with a whole lot of new ways of wording our words. So take your pencil, the eraser on the other side of it, the word pain, and start erasing the word pain. And see if you could just get to that point of what is my body trying to tell me when you have a flare-up. Because that's what it is. It's a flare-up. It's an activation. There's something going on. And go back to your personal energy year number, because that too will give you some insight to what might be going on with your body. You've been diagnosed with some medical condition. Now it's time to diagnose yourself with a different way of thinking. And strength training for me, I've been strength training since I'm 12 years old. I've strength trained during pregnancy. I've strength trained during my hip replacement. I've strength trained my entire life. I'm a former competitive bodybuilder. I have transformed my body in more ways than I can even count. And it's extremely important to help you transform who you are. And it's not about the weight. It's the weight you can handle at that time and slowly progress to whatever the next weight is. So do not be afraid of the word strength training. Strength training is only helping you to become stronger so you can perform your daily activities in your day. It's your functional activities in your day. So again, it's shifting the belief system that you may have regarding strength training and that connection with your body. And whatever, again, your diagnosis might be, that you were diagnosed from whatever your illness or disease or pain is related to. And remember that payoff. What am I allowing myself to have or get or receive that if I didn't have this, I'd have to vocalize it and ask for it? And a lot of us have a hard time asking for support. So that's when that illness, pain, or disease may flare up because we want support and we don't know how to ask for it.
So I'll take this opportunity to invite anybody that's listening, if you align with Joanne Angel, reach out to her. Of course, however you're listening to this, there'll be links on how to connect with her. For those of you that are a part of the live sessions, Joanne Angel is offering a free complimentary cosmic energy soul reading that you can get from her bio on the website. And the special invitation is a discount off of a self-growth discovery session. And there's a number of different areas that she will go over with you during that session. So is there anything else that you would like to share, Joanne Angel, about how people can connect with you and different ways that you can work with them?
Yes, best way to connect is through email, healingwithin76@gmail.com. And I worked, as we already know, I work with women over 40. And I help you really dive deeply into whatever it is you're looking to release, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically. It's all one. You're a total person. It's not just about your physical weight. It's not just about your mental thoughts. It's not just about your food. You're a total person. We work, it's an overall process. We do it all at one time. And we work together. I hold space for you. And we do it gently. And we work together to discover who you really are on that soul level and peel away whatever no longer serves you.
And I will say that Joanne Angel does also work with men.
Yes, I do.
They tend to be referrals.
Yes.
And so given that we are in Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, if you are a man, or if you experience yourself as a male, however the language is in today's vernacular,
Exactly.
reach out to her and you can say that I'm referring you. And she will connect with you, and then you guys can find whether or not it feels like a good fit for you guys to work together. So thank you, Joanne Angel, for being with us, for sharing your wisdom with us. Again, thank you all to the people that have been with us live with all of your comments, for things that you've been sharing. Apologies to you that I haven't been verbalizing them throughout the show. But I just wanted to again acknowledge that they were received and they were helpful to everybody else that was reading them. So following this conversation is Elaine Cochran at the top of the hour. She's new to the show. Again, came as a referral. I tend to ask for referrals to connect with new people. So I'm really excited to see what comes forward and what kind of conversation we have. So again, I will invite you guys to reach out to Joanne Angel if you connect with her, if you resonate with her and you want to work with her. And Joanne Angel, until next time, thank you again. Lots of love.
Thank you again.
And for everybody that's with us, I will leave you with being spirit, being human, simply being from love. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. We hope that this session has inspired a new level of understanding within you, allowing you to expand more easily into the essence of your true self and become an even more powerful alchemist in your own life. We invite you to listen to the session again and again in order to go deeper each time and expand even more. Have it be via the replays or the unlimited access package. If you have enjoyed being part of this event, we invite you to tell your friends so that they can join us in the future. We are grateful that you are here, and we thank you for co-creating this experience with us. Until next time, we leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love.